A woman had been dead at home for 3 days, but her daughter insisted on giving her medicine every day. The little girl believed that if her mother took her medicine, she would definitely wake up. It wasn't until the neighbors smelled a foul odor and broke down the door that they discovered the little girl was still feeding her deceased mother. Only then did the father call the police to take the woman to the hospital, unaware that her spirit had been following their daughter all along. The little girl overheard people talking about a bodhisattva on Lin Mountain, who would grant the wishes of anyone who prayed sincerely. The next day, she dragged her mother's body, overcoming countless hardships to reach the foot of Lin Mountain, begging the bodhisattva to bring her mother back to life. She cowed out until her forehead bled, refusing to stop. The mother, witnessing this, felt her heart ache with unbearable pain, but eventually, the little girl collapsed from exhaustion. It turned out that a week prior, the woman had been diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. However, as she stepped out of the doctor's office, she saw her husband accompanying his first love to the hospital for a pregnancy checkup. The woman angrily confronted her husband, only to be urged by him to sign divorce papers. His first love even stepped forward to insult her, saying that the unloved one is the true third party. Remembering the time when her husband went bankrupt and his first love fled abroad without a word, while she herself spent 30 million to help him rebuild his life, she slapped them both upon seeing his heartless betrayal. But her husband deliberately embraced his first love in front of her, then turned and walked away without looking back. Through a private investigator, the woman learned that her husband had been secretly involved with his first love for 5 years and they even had a son together. Her husband's betrayal left her devastated, but she was still worried about her young daughter, fearing she would become an orphan child with no one to rely on after her death. To help her daughter become independent quickly, she hardened her heart and started training her. Wrong, you have to wait for the water to boil before adding the noodles, do it again. The woman hugged her daughter with heartache, telling her that she only wanted her to learn to be independent, but the young daughter couldn't even understand the meaning of the word, crying and asking her mother, "If I become independent, what about you?" The woman's heart ached again. To ensure her daughter's future financial security, she shamelessly asked her husband for 30 million, promising him that she would agree to the divorce as soon as the money was in her account. The next day, she took her daughter to a lawyer and transferred the entire 30 million into her daughter's account, considering it her future education fund. She understood that her husband wouldn't abandon their daughter after her death, but to guard against the scheming woman beside him, she sewed the contract into her daughter's doll, instructing her that if she were gone, the doll would be her companion. The innocent little girl hadn't fully grasped the meaning of these words when the woman suddenly felt dizzy and collapsed onto the bed. Knowing her time was near, the woman hurriedly told her daughter to call her father. But the man happened to be out fetching something, and it was his first love who answered the phone. The little girl cried desperately, begging dad to save her mother. However, the scheming woman deliberately stalled for time, then hung up the phone and even blocked the woman's number. By this time, blood was trickling from the corner of the woman's mouth. Seeing this, the little girl rushed to get her medicine, but it was too late.